Welcome back to the channel, my brothers and sisters. I want to talk to you a few minutes today about, are you spiritually minded? What makes you tick? It's a question we may ask of other people when we are intrigued by their attitudes and actions. Or perhaps we ask it of ourselves when we struggle to make sense of what controls us. Either way, it is a crucial question and one the Bible confronts us with repeatedly. Proverbs tells us bluntly, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is Proverbs 23:7. There is something about our subterranean self, or better still, something that's below the surface of ourselves that is impossible to ignore for good or ill. The reality led a man by the name of John Owen, a Puritan, to write what he deemed to be one of the most important treatises, called On the Grace and Duty of Being Spiritually Minded. It was built around Paul's exhortation, that is, for those who live according to the flesh, set their minds on the things of the flesh. For those who live according to the Spirit, set their minds on the things of the Spirit. Romans chapter 8, verse 5. The apostle presses home the seriousness of this statement by saying the trajectory of the flesh leads to death, while that of the Spirit leads to life. Paul's point in addressing this issue is in part to spell out the stark alternatives of everlasting death and everlasting life that await the unregenerate on the one hand and the true believer on the other. There is an eternal ultimacy in what is at stake. However, Paul's primary concern is to address this matter in the life of professing Christians. This letter was, after all, addressed to the church in Rome, not the general population at large. This concern revolves around the fact that although as Christians we have been taken out of the realm of death and darkness, the lingering influence of the dark domain remains within us. Although we are no longer under sin's dominion in this life, we are never free from its corrupting influence. I want you to know that Satan will do all in his power to spoil our enjoyment of God's good gift to us in Christ and to hamper ourselves in usefulness in the work of his kingdom. Like many of his fellow Puritans, Owens devotes a significant space to warning those who profess to believe in Christ against the danger of false profession. He reminds us of Christ's sobering words in the Sermon on the Mount that many will hear on the final day, who will expect to be welcomed by the exalted Lord, but who will be turned away. Check that out in Matthew 7, verse 21 through 23. The ultimate test of genuine faith is where it is placed, and it is placed in Christ alone. Sola Christus. The main thrust of Paul's exhortation and Owen's exposition of it is to encourage those who are truly born again to consciously live out the new life that God has graciously planted in them through their union with Christ. If we have indeed been joined to Christ in salvation, then He alone will truly make us tick. God bless you, my brothers and sisters. Until the next time.